Hey guys, it is Irene with Conger Beauty Clinic, and today we are going to talk about how to build trust with your clientele. So there are a couple easy peasy steps that you can do to build trust. As someone who has been doing body sculpting for about 5 years, these are just some tips and tricks that have helped me build trust and build rapport with my clientele. To keep them coming back, because that's the goal, right? To continue to sell services, build relationship with your clients as well as your students if you're a body sculpting educator. So I am in my treatment room today. I do have a little bit of a break in between clients, and I had an idea to do a video, so I figured I'd quickly get one pumped out. The first tip I have for how to build rapport with your clientele is explain your services thoroughly. So on the first appointment, I do talk a lot, especially if it's a new client who has never had body sculpting done. Most of the time they come into their appointment a little bit insecure, a little bit nervous. They don't really know what to expect since they've never had the service. So they do come a little bit guarded. If you explain the steps step by step before you do them, that would be a good way to kind of make your clients feel at ease. So for example, if a client was seeing me for the first time, I would say, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna, first do a before photo. This is why we do them. Once they lay down, I would say, okay, we're gonna start off by applying, this is ultrasound gel. It's completely, nothing inside of the gel can cause a chemical burn, allergic reaction. It's just simplified ultrasound gel. And then when I get to the cavitation part, I would say, okay, we're going to start with 20 minutes of cavitation. What this does is it breaks down the subcutaneous fat. And those are just examples of what I would do if it was a first-time client. That helps break the ice. It helps them feel a little bit more at ease instead of just like, oh, hi, welcome in type thing. And mind you, it doesn't, that's just an example. But it is a great way to build rapport with your clients. So that is the first thing. The second thing is to have your policies in place and stick with them. I know that sounds a little bit silly, but people will take you seriously as a professional if you put your foot down when it comes to your policies. The third one is to make sure that you are consistent and you do what you say, in the sense, especially, so for me, I always tell my clients that client confidentiality is imperative with non-invasive body sculpting, because a lot of people don't know that they like to have, but they have work done. Completely understandable. So I tell people, I'm not going to post you or tag you without your consent. Client confidentiality is so important in my facility, and I do just that. So I follow through with what I say. Meaning I don't tag anybody without their consent. I don't post their photos without their written documented consent. That just builds trust. I have had clients transfer over to me from other body sculptors in my area, and they, I've heard a couple horror stories about they tagged my, booty or my cellulite and I was embarrassed, or I'm very conservative. So you definitely want to avoid doing that and be the type of provider that stands by your word. Again, that'll do nothing but build a sense of respect for you and your craft and your facility as a whole. Another thing you can do is my personal little tip to another way to build client trust is to make sure when you post their before and afters, I always blur out any identifying markers. So there are plenty of photo editing apps. No, never, ever, ever edit results. Never, ever do that. On my photo editing app, I send the client the raw before and afters, and then I upload the before and afters to the photo editing app, and I make little tattoos or scars or very, very visible identifying markers disappear. Beauty marks, I edit them out. That's just you taking an extra step to take your client confidentiality into your hands, and they really appreciate that. I can't tell you, how many times I've done that when someone has maybe like a name tattooed on them or something like that. And again, I send them their raw before and afters, and then I send them the other before and afters, and I say, these are your raw images. I saw improvement here, here, and here. Now with these images, the only thing that have been edited is your identifying markers. I took the liberty of removing that scar or that star-shaped birthmark that's very, very distinctive. Do you mind if I utilize the edited version for social media content? And I cannot tell you how many clients were just like, oh my God, thank you for doing that. I wasn't comfortable with you posting. Now, please go ahead, because everybody knows I have that tattoo, or, you know, now nobody will know it was me. So not only are you taking their feelings into consideration, you're also helping yourself by giving more content for your social media, and they're okay with that. Another thing I do to help build client rapport is just don't be judgmental. You know, as service providers, we are also therapists. So I have clients come in and tell me just all the stories or things they do. You just have to understand. You have to be open-minded. You can't be judgmental, because if you are, people will feel that. I've had girls tell me, you know, just the craziest stories about their personal life, and I'm like, girl, I'm here for you. Let me know if you need anything. Like, that's crazy, like, but let me know if you need anything. You just can't be judgy, because again, people do feel it. The very last tip I have is to be authentic to you. So make sure you are not acting certain ways for certain clients because you think it'll impress them. Make sure you're very authentic to you. I'm a very goofy person. I make silly jokes, obviously work appropriate jokes, but I am very goofy, and I do show that with, even on my Instagram, I'll make silly reels. And when you are authentic to yourself, it really is truly true that the right clients will gravitate. So I think if you do all those things, those are some tips to help you build client rapport and trust within your client base. That's about it, guys. If you have any more videos you want to see, drop them down below, and thanks for watching.